no fit calculate, the calculus, the play go. I know it is how many people beg me go. Inside the light, now inside the campus, open my eyes on, make a decision. Make a face my trust, make a God they know you me just know. Make a God go stay my trust. Oh my God, they tell me that my boy. Cause the only time we do sense my boss. They my own, they my side on my own. They are looking for their time alone. Oh my God, they tell me that my boy. Cause the only time we do sense my boss. I'm the These guys are not for no call. Still dreaming with a no sleep. The love picture, no Photoshop. Any man calling, I no pay. Any man calling, any man digging for me. But I no fun. But I know their plans is jaga. Make a fix my nose. Make a man they don't use me just for. Make what the fuck I go stay my clothes. Oh my God, they tell me that my boy. But the only guy it is that my boy. They my own and I side of my own. They are looking for their time alone. Oh my God, they tell me that my boy. But the only guy it is that my boy. I'm free to love you. I'm free to love you again. I'm free to love you, but this is it. If I didn't, yes. I don't have like this. I don't drink anything like this. I never prayed for this. I never knew it could end like this. And if you're done with me, over the people just set me free. Cause I don't do place like this. For your love, I may lose my senses. Fat boy like me, fat boy like me. Don't call me cheap, girl, I work for this. Girl, I work for this. And I promise you I will find some more.
So our guest is ready. Our guest is ready. Shay, can you hear me? Yeah. Welcome on Exceptional with Sam. Shay, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
So I
can
can
hear
hear you a
you.
bit, but it's not that audible. Oh. Hello.
Are we good to go?
The sound is not so clear. Oh. I'm literally having to strain my ears to listen to hear you. Why no? Why? What is wrong?
Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Welcome to Essential with Sam again. How you guys doing? I'm sure you are having a great day. So today we are going to be having Seyi Awolowo in the house, but he seems to be having a technical issue from his own side. So if we wait for a while, he's not able to join, then we will have to postpone bringing him for today. So quick one, as you guys are online, as we know, it's all about building the next $1 billion enterprise in Africa and how to encourage the younger generation to do amazing things. If you have any question for me today, I'm all yours. I'm all yours. If you have any question for me today, I'm all yours. Let's talk. Let's talk. So welcome, guys. I can see great guys coming all over the world, trying to be part of this great program. We appreciate you. We appreciate entrepreneurs. We appreciate great guys. We have career people who are always seeking for knowledge, who want to build their knowledge. I want to build, create impact in their own work, in what they do, and that is what life is all about. It's about being able to create impact that can affect lives, at the same time make some income for yourself or for your investors. That's the essence of life. It's about creating value, creating impact, and being intentional about what you do. So, guys, if you have anybody who have any good question for me regarding to startup, business, fundraising, anything, you can drop it. Let's keep talking. Let's keep talking. If you have any question today, the floor is open for you. If you have any question, drop those questions. Feel free to do a question. We would definitely gonna answer your question. So let's keep waiting until we get a next question drop in. Welcome, Danjuma. Welcome, Yomi. Hey, see great guys. Welcome, Gabriel. Welcome, Barista Ashade Adiola. Thank you guys for stopping by. Life is all about learning. I keep saying, life is all about learning. Life is all about learning. We keep learning. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Thank you. So throw in your question. Throw in your question. If you have any question that has to do with entrepreneurship, that has to do with fundraising, that has to do with building product, that has to do with the building company from scratch, try to create an impactful company. If you have a question around that, please drop your question. Drop your question. So we have David, 15 years old programmer from Ibadan. These guys are doing amazing things. It doesn't really matter where you're located. It's actually your access, how you can connect around the world. We have David from Ibadan, but great building, great product from Ibadan across the world. That is how life is. Your location should not determine what you're going to be achieving. Great access, and that's why David is here. So, guys, let's keep rolling in. Let's keep rolling in. You guys, welcome. We welcome you guys.
Sit back and relax and listen to a brother. Oh, we were meant for each other.
Okay, so we have a question here. Somebody say I cannot raise money for my animation studio. Okay, for me, I think raising money is about creating value. So the first thing is that what is the problem that your studio is solving? Okay, what is the problem that your solution is solving. If you can establish that, get the first set of users and get the user growing. Okay, get the user growing. Not only user, I mean paying user, paying user. If you get paying user growing, now depending on the rate of revenue you're generating, determine the state how much you can raise per time. So you can decide to say, okay, let me raise money now to take me to the next. Let me raise the little I need for now to take me to the next step, and you can keep repeating that until you're able to build a great company. I think I've answered that question. So if you have any question, drop it in, drop it in. I'm here for you. If you have any question about entrepreneurship, product development, business, career, between product, entrepreneurship, basically business, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. So a lot of people want to raise fund. Raise fund is an essential part of business. The way you pitch your customer to get them use your product, the same way you pitch investors, partners to be part of what you're doing. Just raise what you need per time and grow that way. That is always the best way to grow. So it might be your investor might just be your neighbor initially, might just be someone close. Just any form of interest, people to come in, and from there you grow. So why does background go bankrupt? Yes, a lot of startup eventually die, go bankruptcy because there's no sustainability strategy, which is really the big problem. At every stage of your business, you have some level of risk. Every stage, any stage of your business, the fear is that is this business going to be sustainable because the business is actually very young at that point. And so you need to be able to create a strategy of. So that's why somebody will say, do you have the money that's going to take you for the next uh, one year, 1 month before, because you might likely not be able to generate enough money at the initial stage. So you need to have a strategy to keep it growing to a point where we have enough money to take care of what you need. So most companies don't know, usually plan, they just stumble into it, and sometimes your strategy might not even be within the business that you're doing, maybe another strategy, maybe another business to support what you're doing, pending the time. So you need to have a clear sustainability strategy from the beginning. Is it that you set some money aside and you plan that peradventure you exhaust this money? What is the next strategy? All this have to be planned out, okay? Before you, and when you begin to generate cash flow, then you begin to look at growth, the rate of growth. Because you see, when you begin to make money, you need to keep growing as a startup, and that's why it's called a startup, okay? So the next concern is that how do I keep growing? So you need to begin to look at, initially may be serving a particular market. Do I need to go to other markets to grow further? Do I need to create variety within the same scope of product? Or do I need to include more customer, more segment of the market? Maybe I need to serve more. Maybe I'm serving the below the bottom line. Do I need to serve the middle? So you need to begin to look for different segment of market to service. You need to look at different location to grow. Growing is really an amazing strategy. You can keep growing. You can decide, say, okay, let me go to another location to grow, or let me create another product that can create more revenue. The real growth is about increased revenue. That's the real growth. It's not about increased number or increasing activity. It's increased revenue. That's the real growth. So you need to have a strategy to keep increasing your growth in terms of revenue. A lot of questions are strolling. Let me try to take them up. Somebody asked that how can startup become successful and translate into business system? I think for me, the first thing I will always say about startup, it's about the drivers, the real first set of people that started the business are the major concern, because it requires a lot of embedded skills. Okay, imagine you are starting a startup where you don't have anything. Okay, you need to have some level of relational skill to convince someone to join you. You need to have some dominant skills in that area that you want to practice to an extent. So you as a startup, What are the things that you really have within yourself at the time that you really not don't have anything? So that's so you yourself must be self-sustainable to an extent, okay, that you can achieve a lot by yourself. Then when you are begin to choose your co-founder, don't choose co-founder because it's your friend, because it's your family, or choose co-founder that has another domain of expertise that is coming on your board to increase the expertise that you guys have control within yourself and all of that. Then don't hesitate negotiating outsourcing. See, the truth is about outsourcing is that if you are able to negotiate a good set of partners, uh, professional to be part of what you're doing, two different form of outsourcing, maybe you pay per visit, or pay per transaction, or whatever model that can fit in your. In fact, sometimes you can have to say that, oh, I'm not going to pay you now. I'm not going to pay you after you have achieved AB, maybe per goal, per achievement, and all of that. You can always negotiate because the truth is that, especially when you are much younger and you require a lot of experience to achieve a lot, you can leverage on those guys ahead of you to be part of what you're doing to help you in those area that you might not have a domain expertise in. As outsourcing, it actually work. In fact, there was a time I was talking about outsourcing. You can actually assess everything about your business. In fact, the good thing about outsourcing is that it tells you the truth because the professional will tell you that this will not work. Can you look at it this way? They challenge you. They challenge the status quo. What and helps you to be able to build a more sustainable startup at early stage. Okay. And again, at the early stage of your company, try to have a lot of sustainable strategy. Uh, I've seen cases where people build startup, have another company that is funding, another company that generates revenue, that is funding the startup because the other business is actually a business, maybe cannot scale very fast, but it can generate the initial capital or funding they need to sustain over time before the main startup start generating required capital. So a lot of strategy. As I always advise, don't rush to raise capital. Try to see what you can do by yourself, by your friends and team. See how you can negotiate with your stock at early stage, a portion of it to see how to bring the right people on board and build a more compelling and revenue generating startup. Okay. Then again, I want to talk about the second question is that for me, startup is really not. It has evolved from being just early stage business. It has evolved into a strategy. When you say a company is a startup, it means that the company is a fast growing company. Okay, that's why you see a lot of companies that have been successful today are still seen as a startup because they are light driven. They try to grow fast because of they are not carrying a lot of weight in terms of fixed asset and all of that, and try to see how they can engage people through form of partnership model than engaging them as full staff and all of that. Because it's a lot of things that keep people stuck when you begin to try to own a lot of assets that you can use the money to do a lot of growth, enable part of a business to grow faster than the good thing about startup right now is the speed that makes you start up. A company that starts today and is already generating a revenue of $1 million, $2 million, something like that. Depending on the nature of the company, it's going very fast compared to a conventional business and acquiring customers so quickly than what those conventional business. Maybe it will have taken a company 10 years. Maybe a startup will take them only 3 months to acquire the same level of customers. So that is what makes it startup. Now it's a model that is open, it's simple, and in fact that's why you see a lot of startups. You know who they are. Virtually everybody knows who the CEO are because the CEO is more like the face of the company somehow, like those conventional companies. So it's more connecting with the people. It's more customer centric. So it's more adapted to the customer need, and that is why startups basically look for an area that people are not serving or providing a total new solution that never existed, that is solving a very crucial problem. So that's what startup is all about. Okay. So now maybe what you mean that translating to business, maybe becoming very big. So and a startup that has a very big market can always grow very big and be successful, depending on how you are able to adapt to the changes, because there will be a lot of changes, and how you're able to grow more revenue base, customer base that eventually generates high revenue, and the company is growing fast. And that's what startup is all about. Let me pick another question quickly. We have a lot of questions here. Reading the post concerning the continuous increase in dollars, and the author suggests that it's best whether you might need in future, especially post concerning the group. You see, the truth is that uh, yes, dollar is increasing. I think a lot of people who have taken foreign investment and all of that, they have edged those investments. I always advise people to edge those investments. And a lot of people, and this edging could be self-edging. What self-edging is basically when you have dollar in the bank and you take a loan against it. It's self-edging. What you simply have done is that instead of selling those dollar to liquidate it and begin to spend it directly, some people will rather self-edge the dollar. What does it mean? Is that they will fix the dollars in an account and borrow against it, so that they are not exposed to the foreign exchange risk. This happened in the case where the rate of uh, depreciation of the currency is very high, that the interest to pay to the bank. So what does that mean? If the rate of growth of depreciation of dollars or the currency of that country is like maybe 50% or maybe 25%, okay, and you are paying interest rate of maybe 10% or whatever. But when you look at it cumulatively, you need to be very strategic. So a lot of people try to do something to rather convert uh, that local currency into a more stable currency and self-edge it, while some people have an edging company to help them edge their. See, it's not only when you take a foreign investment that you really need to edge your money. When you're at the risk of foreign exchange, you can only bring someone to help you edge your money and pay a fee for that. So there's a lot of way people try to. But for me, Nigeria is still a good place. It's still growing, and it's just require a lot of people to be creative about what solution they are providing, and try to be intentional about trying to put their eyes about the different the changes that happen in terms of forest, in terms of the market, and see how to position themselves for the. You're amazed that a lot of people are seeing these changes as great opportunity to capture more market and acquire more assets and grow so fast. Negotiating contract with clients, what is the basic do or don't? For me, it's I like this question, Tadi. I love this question. This question is a very good question. You see, there's one time I was listening to Grant Cardone, I think so many years ago, when he said that he has gotten to a point where he wants to select who he does business with. You see, at early stage of business, a lot of business decide to want to deal with anybody. Okay, sometimes it's a bit tough because they need to survive as a business, so they are not uh, quality conscious. They are not looking at a lot of factors. The truth is that when you are going into a business and the market does not even respect the providers, I, for whatever reason, or there's no good perception about the provider in that market, or because they have more supplies, so it's the demand market whereby there's more supply than demand. So people does everybody want to get a piece of it because they are struggling for it. So there's a price war. There's the in terms of the the other side, who is the demand side, does not really appreciate the supply, because they can decide to play with anybody and all of that. You really need to be careful, okay? A lot of people have gotten themselves into trouble, lost a lot of money, entered into bankruptcy and all of that, because they just want to do business for the sake of business. Okay, initial stage, you just want to show track record. But as you grow, you need to begin to select the kind of business that you do. That's why when you are in a market that it's more of demand market, where everybody, there's a lot of supply, they can decide to go to anybody. If you're saying no, a lot of people are ready to say yes, not because it was a good deal, just because everybody just want to do the business, because so you need to be really careful. The truth is that when you are going to a contract, the first thing you need to check is that what is the reason why you're going to the contract? Okay? And if the reason you're going to the contract is for you to make profit, okay, ensure that you can make profit in that contract, okay? Then if the reason is for you to get other benefit, maybe experience, or maybe you want to leverage on the brand, or whatever thing that you have in mind, maybe you think it's going to lead to another greater business, it's going to be a lead to a greater business, just be careful, because really business is key about profit, no matter the competition. And again, if it's a market that the demand side does not respect the supply side, because of this too much supply in that market, you have to be very careful. Sometimes it might even be a sign for exit in that market. Might be a sign. See, I pray as you're working as a businessman, you should grow so fast that you can say no to some transaction. Okay, you should grow so fast that you can say no. You see, life is not about do or die. Yes, you want to be sustainable, but if a business is going to put you into trouble, there's really no need to sign those contracts. You need to be profitable. You need to be something you can deliver. If somebody is asking to deliver and you know you will not deliver, why are you going into the contract? And if it's not humanly possible, why are you going into the contract? And if there's not going to be fair dealing, and if you know that the other company you are going to deal with, it does not have integrity, and you know the person does not have integrity, they will not keep to their word, why are you going into some contracts? Those are red flags. The minute you see that these people will not keep their, see, there's a lot of companies that are multinational, they will never keep to their word. But the truth is that if you do your own work, you will know that this company is not a company that you want to relate your brand with. Your brand is about quality, your brand is about integrity, your brand is about creating value and impact. But this other company is all about making money and nothing else. So it's not that kind of business you should want to sign contract with. You have to be extremely careful. You should have your core value and don't go out of it. Initially, when you're starting business, sometimes it might be tough. You want to get everybody on board. You don't want to, but I know how it is. But when you grow, you should be able to begin to tell yourself that I have this standard now. I cannot bend my laws. I cannot bend my rules. You need to create standard. Because if you don't begin to create standard, you're going to be swallowed by the market. You're going to be like any other person in the market. So you have no different. So what creativity are you bringing into the market? So it's not about signing anything. You have to be extremely careful. So as we're going, we'll take more questions. Somebody said, when you are starting a business, risk involved when you're starting up a business, and how can you avert that risk? The risk involved when you're starting a business, the major risk is that you might not get a customer. Okay? But one thing that has always worked for me is that I flip that. I get the customer before the business. Okay? What do I mean? If I want to supply maybe toiletries, I might have gotten like 3 hotels that have told me supply those toiletries every month. So now I've converted the risk of demand into a risk of operation. So it's about me to operate and deliver. So, but a lot of people will say they want to start a business, they don't even know where the customer is, whether they will get customer, whether they will get. and they just jump into it and they begin to have issues. The most important part of business is the people who need your product, your customers. So if you already somehow can build initial customer that can make you sustain the business fairly, then you're fine. Okay, the risk is that you can put money in adverts, doing all of this and don't get customers. But if you can have a way to even get a customer before you start spending, then that is fantastic. And that's why I talk so much about personal branding. Okay, build a personal brand that can help you close some deal even before you start. It's relations, everything. If you go to anywhere, you meet human beings. If you're talking about marketing, you're talking about customer, it's still human being you're going to be. Whether the person is in London, UK, anywhere, it's going to be human being. So it's still all about relationship. It's all about interacting with people and how effectively can you interact with people and convince them to believe in what you're doing. That so much that they can part with their money, they can give you a commitment on what you're doing. That is for me, that's what is even more important. So if you can build a reputation, you can build influence that can give you some level of market even before you start anything. That is why if you see if I start calling name now, like Tony, you see when he started the business, before you start, a lot of investors has come, a lot of people, before people that there are some people that have built a lot of, and it can be built in a small way. You don't need to be a big company. You should be intentional about everything that you're doing. So if you want to go into a business, don't rush, especially when it's the first time. See how you can get the first set of users that can guarantee you that they will use whatever you are going to. It's going to help you solve a lot of problems. And it's going to help you to quickly get a grip of it than to be spending a lot of money and customer never come. I think uh, that's the best way to go about it. It's easier. It's easier to leverage on other people, other successful business at early stage. It helps you to navigate through the tough time, and it's also good to have mentors, people who can help you tell you the truth. But even though if you have mentors, don't forget you also have your own mind. I always say that because I realize that the younger generation are more risk taking and more technology driven. So sometimes uh, you have to be able to know where your mentor are falling. Is it into the old generation business or new generation business? But sometimes you might need both. Because the old generation business will tell you how to avoid risk. New generation business will tell you to take more risk. So you have to be able to have mentor from two different, the old and new, and see how you can leverage that to help your business grow. Don't always get the bad feeling when people tell you the truth. Rather use the feedback to see how you can solidify or how you can protect your business further from those risks instead of feeling bad about it. I started on the clothing business. We are not really, this is a long one. Let me try my best to read. No one wants to come in. Oh, shit. Yeah, let me see. I can take them one by one. Okay, let me take this one now. Run the best company and business. We are not really using the business and how it works. The question is how do you separate your profit from capital? Because I noticed that we keep pouring everything back even more. Okay, good question. You see, there's a lot of things that you unconsciously you it's at early stage because your business is small. You might not see the difference between capital and profit. But I can tell you that at early stage, when you can actually make more profit, what I mean profit, when you have taken all your expenses, both logistics, both salary, everything, and be able to say this is your profit, no matter what, no matter how little, be able to say this is my profit. I have paid myself, I have paid my sisters, I've paid the worker, I've paid the transport, I've paid all this. This is my profit. Be able to say that and separate it. It's going to do a lot for you. Okay. When you separate it, you can now say, okay, after a while, I want to bring the money back into the business to increase my capital base. So at that time, your capital will be capital A plus B. So you have increased your capital base. You have to be intentional about it. But if you just allow it to run like that, sometimes you might not be able to separate it, and you might not really know if you are making profit or not. Try your best to be able to identify what you can call a profit and put it aside. And later, and from there, if you want, you can say, "Oh, I want to return this portion of the profit back into the business. I want to spend this portion of the business." You have to be intentional, and that's the only way to grow. And if you're doing a clothing business, you need to begin to see how you can use online to drive it. There's a lot of influencer marketing works for all this kind of products. Okay, actually, I have a good mentor, Damon John. He started Fubu at a very early stage, and at those times when you have to pay so much to put people in, to put advert in newspaper, he put advert in newspaper. It was amazing that even some people right now they never put advert in newspaper, and they'll tell you that they want their business to grow. So you need to be intentional about it. You always start small. You can start by using small influencer. When the profits start going, you increase it. You can only graduate. You don't necessarily have to spend so much from the beginning. You can graduate, you can spend small budget for your advert. You might be today, you must say, oh, this is better. I want to spend these two influencers to market my product. Immediately you get sales and your profit is going on. You can increase the influencer and more. Before you know it, you take over the world. That's how it works. So another question. Thank you too. Thank you so much. I think you should not allow any pressure to make you do what will put you into trouble. See, I remember some time ago when we rushed into a particular business and we spent a lot, we lost a lot of money. I keep telling people it's because you are focusing on creating, starting the business and trying to generate some activities and all of that. You still have to be careful. Don't rush too much. Take your time, please. Take your time. So I want to speak. I want to see if I can get that. You see here, in you know in you talk about the contract. You talk about the industrial standard. Sometimes, okay, the industrial standard might not be your standard. Okay, because especially when it's a market whereby everybody just want to do something. Okay, I've seen cases where in the market that people are ready to take anything. In fact, there's a particular business I was aggressively part of it. That it's more about people go for contract and all of that, just like what you're asking. Even international company, you will win the contract, they will not give you, they will give it to somebody else. They will use your contract to negotiate somebody else and give the contract to their preferred contract because of this referral and all of that and all of that. I don't want to go into that details. But as you grow in business, okay, you need to create your own standard. Okay, what makes you happy? You don't really need to do what everybody is doing, and that's why I tell people that diversification is very good. When you diversify, you have. I don't advise people to have one stream of cash flow, one stream of income. Diversification help you to be able to tell yourself the truth when things are not working. You can tell yourself that I don't want to do this. I don't want to, because you have ability to have other income and all of that. It's not do or die. Okay, you can also use agents, people who can get contract for you. You tell them your own term, and as long as you can pay them, they will get the contract that will fit into your profile. Okay, don't always struggle to say you want to do everything. Please don't do everything. It could be a pitfall, honestly. You have to have your standard, your don't do everything. I'm talking from experience. It's not every business that is meant for you. Okay? It's not meant for you. The fact that company A can do it successfully, maybe there are other ways they are doing it that you don't know about. You might have a more, you need to understand your own cost, your own process, your own value, what are your value, what are your core value, and keep to it as much as possible. You can use a little referral, and when you use referral, they take commission. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Get people to help get contract where you cannot reach, and you pay commission for that. It's fine. In fact, that's one of the fastest way to get things done. Use experts, ourselves, pay them their commission, they get things done, you move on, and you're able to achieve a lot. But try to avoid going to do, especially when the money involved is big, do things below your cost because you want to just get it done, or because another person is saying they will do it. You need to be extremely careful. You need to know your figure very well, know everything very well. Be sure that whatever you sign, you have ability to keep to it. Don't let anybody put you under pressure. I can tell you, I know one thing for sure. If you have a very good brand and you know your work, a good opportunity will always come by you. Trust me. If you know your work and you have integrity intact and you are there, your brand is outstanding and everybody knows it, a great one will come, even though if you have to let the bad one to go. Trust me. I have a telecom website where people can buy airtime, data, and cable subscription, but I'm not making money from it. How can I go about it? You see, you see this what you said, Abiola, is a good question. You're pushing me, but I'll answer you. These are supposed to be a serious mentorship section, but I'm going to answer you. Okay, with virtue of this program, I'm going to answer you. You see, all those things you're selling, what you're not selling is that you're not able to leverage on third-party data. What do I mean by that? If you have partnered with telecom company to provide this service, they will have market all this your product to their customer. And most times their customer will have used it. So you'll have been within the loop. Or if you have marketed this to some set of people who already have a customer base and have is trying to share profit with them, you will see what is going to happen to that business model. I think I've sold a bit. If you want to more, you can reach me on my DM, then I move it on.
If you don't get now, you sabi. I don't do I heard that you're looking for love. I wake up this morning, God don't call me. My body loading my phone, say what I do when you promise me. I know say you don't go believe, then look at me say I saw you be. I beg you take me back to there.
Okay, guys. It's gonna be on a seminar we start for today. It's a great time today. I always want to be here to attend to great guys around the world to answer your question and to bring people who are changing the world. So we're gonna bring in Seyi Awolowo again on our show. These guys are amazing guys, are artists, a musician, a comedian, is a all-round entertainer. We're gonna bring it on the show to help us influence, encourage the generation of African entrepreneurs are coming out with the good for. I love what we're reading so about what the African entrepreneurs are doing and what enterprises, startups are doing in Africa, the great work they are doing. It's quite amazing. I love the fact that Nigeria is going to places in terms of what the younger generation are doing. So, guys, let's have faith in ourselves. Let's believe in ourselves. Let's believe in our work, and let's keep the hard work going. So, things gonna work out for our favor. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day for today.